What up, Hype Beast? You already know who it is. It's your boy back with another NBA update video. So, we got the big news today. Apparently, Russell Westbrook is a member of the Houston Rockets. What's up, video game hooper? I see you. Um, so ridiculous trade. The Houston Rockets trade Chris Paul to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Russell Westbrook. Let's see. Westbrook reunion with Harden. I think, oh man, I don't even know where to begin with this one. I thought it was Miami. I thought for sure, I thought for sure Russell Westbrook was going to be in Miami and they're going to have Russell Westbrook and Jimmy Butler and they were going to have a nice little thing going. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. Now, it just absolutely did not work out that way. I actually thought a lot of people were down on that pairing, Jimmy Butler and Russell Westbrook. I actually think it'll work. I actually thought it would have worked. Uh, Crazy. I don't know what's going to happen because James Harden is not the same player that he was back when these guys paired up the first time. He is just absolutely not the same player. He is way more ball dominant. If you remember when he was in OKC, he used to come off the bench and he used to mostly play a lot of minutes when Russell Westbrook was sitting down. So now you're gonna have both of these cats on the ball, like on the court at the same time. I don't really see the purpose. I guess if you got good players, the idea is that they'll figure it out. So they're gonna have to learn how to play with each other again. I just think this was the most I knew it was an option, but I thought it was the most unlikely option. Let's see. What's up, Icy Rose? I see you. Says who a good duo, KD and Westbrook or James and Westbrook. I actually didn't hate KD and Westbrook. I thought they probably weren't going to win a championship together, but I didn't think they were that bad of a fit. Um, James Harden has the ball a lot, man. James Harden has the ball a lot. He dribbles that thing. He's pounding that ball a lot. So and Russell Westbrook is not like a spot up shooter. He's not somebody you can get a ball to at the end of the shot clock. I really wonder how this is gonna work. This is a clash. Um, I thought KD and Westbrook was a better duo to answer your question. Let's see, Jacko VX. Jimmy would for a trade as soon as Russ came to he would ask for a trade as soon as Russ came to Miami. Man wants to be the man, and D'Antoni is forcing threes on guys who shoots 30%. Looks like 45 wins to me. Would ask. Um, crazy. Man, I honestly don't know what to say. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But oh my goodness, man. I'm floored by this, man. Of all the options, I thought Detroit. Now, I heard a report earlier today that Detroit, they were interested, but they like mildly, like a little bit interested. And I thought Detroit should be a lot interested, especially what they did for Blake Griffin last year. Trading all those guys, trading for Blake Griffin. Blake Griffin got there and helped them win some games, took them back to the playoffs, helped them put some, butts in the seats in Detroit. I thought Russell Westbrook would be perfect for that situation. I didn't particularly want him to go because then I'd have to watch Detroit games, but I thought Detroit and Blake Griffin, I think that's a good pairing. As far as Russell Westbrook and Blake Griffin, I think that's a good pairing. I think that's probably one of the best pairings for Russell Westbrook. Blake Griffin does not have to play around with the ball. You can put him in a lot of pick and rolls. He catch lobs. Blake Griffin also added a 3-point shot so he could step out and create space like that. I just think that was one that made sense. They didn't do that. I thought Jimmy Butler was going to be fine. They didn't do that. The Rockets, I personally think the Rockets got worse with this trade, but we'll see. Back to the chat. Let's see. Jack Hoolin says thought he was going to go to the Magic. Now the Magic, I was hearing the Magic today. Actually, I was hearing about the Magic for the first time today being a factor in this whole Russell Westbrook situation. I like that because all they're going to have going into next year is Markelle Fultz. I thought you could throw Russell Westbrook in there. They got some nice young players. I think he was fit with a team like the Magic. Now I don't know if he was actually interested in going there. That's a whole nother story, whether or not he was interested in going there. But yeah, I thought it made sense, man. Off topic, the Clippers and Philadelphia and the 76ers in the finals. Icy Rose. I actually think it's gonna be Lakers and Sixers in the finals this year. Um, I think the Sixers will end up defeating Giannis in the Eastern Conference Finals, and it's too early. I'm saying that just because I like the way these teams look on paper. I like the Sixers a lot. I like the way they look on paper a whole lot. So I can see them going to the championship, and then I think the Lakers are gonna take it, man. A lot of people are down on the Lakers, this Clippers that, and I love what the Clippers were able to do. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love what the Clippers are going to do, but I really think LeBron playing a slow pace, and at this point in his career, that's what he does. Playing a slow pace with those bigs is going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Endless pick and roll action, and there's a million things you could do. You could even be lazy and you could just park DeMarcus Cousins right there in the paint and nobody will be able to stop him. As soon as he doubles, I just think the Lakers are going to be tough. I think everybody's sleeping on the Lakers this year. But anyway, um, that's who I have in the finals. But again, it's way too early. Let's see. Russ would be best in Detroit if they would click. I actually think it's a conference semis in the East at least. I agree with you. I agree with you. I think Russell Westbrook and Blake Griffin was like probably the best option out there for Russell Westbrook, to be honest. Which is the best team to go after CP3? Man, Michael, I personally think CP3 is done. I personally think he's done because last year in the playoffs, I don't know, you could say that he was injured or whatever. And I wouldn't argue if you say he was injured, I wouldn't argue with you, but he looked really bad. He looked bad in the playoffs this year. He had no explosion, he had no first step. All he had was his little shot that he's honed to his last couple years. It's been rough for Chris Paul, man. It's been rough for Chris Paul. He had he played out of his mind a year ago. The year before last year in the playoffs, he played out of his mind. If he wouldn't have got hurt, they would have beat the Warriors. They would have beat the Kevin Durant Warriors if he would not have gotten hurt. And then he got this money. He got the hamstring thing going on. He comes back the next season and he's a shell of himself right away. He had the playoff series of his life. They had the season of their life because they won 60 games. And then he comes back and is over. I feel bad for Chris Paul, but I don't personally think I don't think there's a team for him. I don't think there's anybody. First of all, he makes too much money. I thought when he signed that contract, I was like, Chris Paul, what are you doing, man? You sign a contract like that, you're not going to be able to get work. Yeah, they sign it and they have to pay you, but it is a burden. That is a burden. The only teams that will give you a chance are like the worst teams in the league. Like, sure, get Chris Paul in here, let him, bounce the ball around or whatever, sell a couple tickets. You're not gonna ever be not gonna. You basically gave up your right to compete for a championship. And then even if he would have stayed on the Rockets, they wouldn't have been able to get better ever. So I thought that was a horrible contract to begin with. I thought Chris Paul asking for it was terrible. I thought the Rockets giving it to him was terrible. I just thought the whole thing was terrible. Let's see. Jack Hewlin says how the Raptors are gonna do next year. Now, personally, I like the Raptors. I like the Raptors. I would love to see them trade back for DeMar DeRozan. Now that they got their championship, put the guys back together, see what they can do. But I think they're gonna be like a second tier Eastern Conference team, and by second tier I mean like like fifth seed or below. I still think they'll be a playoff team because they have a lot of good players and they have a lot of team chemistry and stuff. So I think they'll work. I don't know what kind of start they're going to be able to get, and I just think they'll be like kind of a middle of the road type of team, which is sad, but at the same time, eh, it's all good. Let's see. I forgot what team Cousins went to. Yeah, Cousins went to the Lakers. Is Melo done? Absolutely. Melo is out of there. Now, somebody may give him a chance. He may come in and have a 30-point game, but he's still done. I know at this point, I'm not interested in seeing Melo play anywhere anymore. I'm over the whole Melo thing. McGee was a bad signing for the Lakers. I want to see AD play more at the five. Me too. But he himself says he doesn't want to play the five for whatever reason. I don't know what the difference is for him. Um, he's like 7 feet. I don't see the purpose of not playing the five. But he said he's not. He doesn't want to play the five. I think him and JaVale actually will develop some good chemistry. Because I don't personally in New Orleans, I didn't really like JaVale McGee and DeMarcus Cousins. I didn't like it in New Orleans. I'm not gonna like it with the Lakers on the court at the same time. Now, if you put a team like JaVale McGee, Anthony Davis, LeBron, Avery Bradley, and Danny Green on the floor or something like that. Adupe, is that how you say your name, bro? Adupe, say hello to Brazil. Hello, Brazil. Thanks for checking in. What was I saying? I think defensively, you have a really good, a really tough squad because even if you leave out the fact that JaVale McGee blocks a bunch of shots, he has 7'6" wingspan. I think Anthony Davis has like a 7'5" wingspan or whatever. They could hold hands and take up a lot of space. They could literally just hold hands out there and you wouldn't be able to penetrate to the basket. I just think they're gonna develop some really good chemistry, and I think Boogie is gonna be a problem off the bench. Him and Kuzma can come off the bench as a tandem and just finish blowing teams out. I think the Lakers are gonna be cool. Let's see. Melo is sad. Melo is done sadly because he don't want a lesser role. Yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. Rocket 88. OKC traded for an immovable contract. Well, they traded one immovable contract for another immovable contract. Basically, I guess they could only do business with each other because nobody wanted to do business with either one of them. But personally, man, Russell Westbrook must have really wanted out. They really did him a favor. They traded him to Houston. I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe they'll look to retrade Chris Paul. I don't even know where he'd go. They'll try to reroute him to New York. I mean, maybe New York will have some. Maybe he could run with those young guys. In the chat, man, spam up in the chat. Where can Chris Paul go and be a legit player? Where could Chris Paul go? Where could he go? He's gonna go to OKC. There's no point. They got Shea Gildress Alexander. They got him. He's a point guard. He's a 6'5" point guard. They need to develop him more. He had a good season last year. They don't have a reason to put Chris Paul to why? To stun his growth? Put Chris Paul in for what? What can Chris Paul give you if you're the Thunder? Where could Chris Paul go? Where could he go and be an impact player? That's tough. That's a tough one, man. At this point, I really have no earthly idea. Let's see. I actually want Orlando to trade for 2021 free agency. Everyone is a free agent, especially at the guard spots. They could target Bradley Beal. I would like to see Bradley Beal leave Washington, to be honest. AD wants to play more like Dirk outside than Timmy. Now, Jacko VX, I find that interesting. You said AD wants to play more like Dirk. Could you explain that more? Did you read something? Did you read that somewhere? That would be insane because he doesn't have Dirk's jump shot, so that would be a disaster waiting to happen. Let me know where you got that though. If you read an interview or something like that, I would love to see it. Let's see. Michael says, not a straight up trade. Celtics, Gasol equals Spurs. Hayward goes to the Raptors. DeRozan. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. The Celtics get Gasol, the Spurs get Hayward, and the Raptors. The Raptors should do it. They should do it. They need that other wing. DeRozan's been there. He would stay. Like he wouldn't leave. I think he would definitely go back to Toronto. They should do it. Get him back in there. They already won their championship. The rest of those guys are proven now. Get him in there. What's the name? Pascal Siakam got better. Get him in there. They should absolutely try it. Let's see. Knicks really got rid of Porzingis for Julius Randle and Marcus Morris. I guess he didn't want to. I think Porzingis low key requested a trade out of New York, and they just never publicized it because it never made any. Even if you think you're gonna get KD, why not have KD and Porzingis there? What do you have to trade Porzingis for? Like that really didn't make any sense. Any sense? What's up to Evan 99 Gaming? Let's see. Hell no, the Knicks. Management doesn't do Phil Jackson as trades anymore. As for CP for Wiggins, no, I can see that. It's another one of them, horrible contract for horrible contract. I can see Minnesota being like, we really need a point guard. Once again, it's of no value. I would take my chance with keeping Wiggins because you get Chris Paul there. He's old. Yeah, he'd probably be a nice tandem with Carl Anthony Towns for like 40 games, and then Chris Paul would be injured. They'll still miss the playoffs. There's no purpose. Like that's my whole thing with Chris Paul now. There's no purpose to him. Like you can't depend on him in the playoffs because he will be injured, and even if he's not injured, even if he's come back from injury, he won't have explosion, he won't have speed, he won't have much to give you other than his basketball IQ. To me, it's just it's no point. Let's see. Orlando. Chris Paul and Orlando. That's one of the ones I could see just because Orlando. But who Orlando's not. They would trade what Evan Fournier. Who else do they have? Evan Fournier and some other high contract to get him. I could see it happening. That's the only place that I could see it working. Let's see. Icy Rose says the Knicks finna be king, but with all out centers, the Kings have. But with all out the centers, the Kings have. Let's see. Jack Hewlin says Ingram's gonna take off in New Orleans. I hope so. I like Brandon Ingram. I thought the end of last season. No, Brandon Ingram playing next to LeBron irritates me because what I noticed would happen, LeBron would pass him the ball thinking he's about to shoot it or try to drive it, and Brandon Ingram take 2 steps back and tries to read the defense. And it's like, okay, LeBron already gave you the ball because he wants you to attack the basket. You know what I mean? So I never Brandon Ingram's like a playmaker himself. He wants to make the pass and stuff to the next person. Didn't really make sense with LeBron. But I absolutely think he could be good. At the end of the season, he went on a tear. I think he averaged like 28 points a game in like 13 game stretch or something like that. Brandon Ingram could definitely be good, man. Since he doesn't want to play the 5, I said Dirk because it's for me a classic perimeter based 4. Okay, I see what you mean. I should say KG, who was more post fade, mid range, 1-on-1 versus big. Tim is more inside scorer, just based one based 1/2. Okay, I feel you on that. Wishful thinking, but do you think he could get bought out? I would if he had 1 year. Chris Paul still got 100,000, 100 million on his contract in 3 years. I don't think anybody in history would ever buy out a 3 unless he just says, "Okay, I'll settle for like $20 million or some crap like that." And the team's like, "Okay, sure, here you go." Um, and he won't because he was lobbying for that contract. It would be very difficult to buy out 3 years. It would be very, very difficult to buy out 3 years and over 100 million. Yes. Yep. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Okay. The Knicks have got a lot to look forward to. The King have a lot of centers. Okay. Steven Adams should be traded and where? No, Steven Adams is an interesting deal, to be honest. Steven Adams would be a very, 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 very interesting situation. I think he should be traded if he wants to. If he wants to stay, if he's not worried about trying to be traded to a contender, I could totally see him staying, to be honest. Let's see. If OKC stretched CP3's contract, they would be able to pay like 15 million for like 9 years. Gee. The fact that it comes to that with Chris Paul, man. The fact that it comes to that with Chris Paul, that they would stretch. Jeez. But hey, whatever you got to do to get that nonsense. I always thought it was horrible that the Rockets gave him that contract. That contract never made sense. Again, guys, if you're new to the chat, make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. Especially for more chats in the future. Uh, let's see. I want a little bit more information about the actual draft picks that were traded. Let's see. Do you think that Giannis doesn't win a ring in Milwaukee will leave? Oh man, I don't think so. I think Giannis. I think he's like a loyal cat. He strikes me as a loyal cat. I don't see where he would go. You know what I mean? He doesn't seem like he's the type of player who wants to play, under the bright lights of New York or in LA or something. I could see him. I could see him being a lifer. I could see him doing the Kobe thing and playing for one franchise for like 20 years. I could totally see him. Especially Milwaukee is kind of the franchise that gave him a chance. You know what I mean? Because even though he was tall, he was skinny. There was no guarantee that he was going to turn into this. You know what I mean? So they took a chance on him, and so I could totally see him. He got passed. I think he got drafted by like number 13 or something like that. I could totally see him staying in Milwaukee, even if they don't win a championship. I could totally see it. Steven Adams and picks for Kevin Love. I could see it. But my whole thing with that, if you're going to trade for Kevin Love, you should have traded. You should have did that trade first. You know what I mean? You got Russell Westbrook there. You trade for Kevin Love to add him to Russell Westbrook. I don't see why you would trade Russell Westbrook and then trade Steven Adams for Kevin Love. That would be weird. Let's see. OKC has to be preparing to trade CP3 again. They absolutely have to. They absolutely have to trade him again. It makes no sense for him to be there. He's not gonna put butts in the seats. Like he's not. He absolutely is not going to do it. So yeah, I could totally. I don't know, but I totally don't. I don't believe it. Let's see. Let's see. Quality content watching from Canada. Appreciate you, Jack Hewlin. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Icy Rose says, I know he's a free agent, but I don't know what year. Let's see. Z Smooth. Shout out to Z Smooth. How exactly would this work for the Rockets? I don't think me personally, I don't think it will work for the Rockets at all. I think they got worse with this trade. Even though I don't even like Chris Paul. My thing with the Rockets, I don't like James Harden that much, man. I honestly don't like James Harden that much. I think he holds the ball way too long. I think he tries to exploit the rules. He's a good talent, you know what I mean? He can score with the best of them. He can shoot from anywhere. He's pretty quick. He can get to the basket whenever he wants. James Harden is a very, very talented player. But I just hate the way he exploits the rules, and I hate the way he dribbles the ball so much. He takes up so much of the shot clock just on him setting up his little step back. I just don't particularly love watching him play. That being said, I thought last season when him and Chris Paul went on their run, I thought that was the best they could do. You know what I mean? Chris Paul hasn't been healthy since then. So yeah, I just can't. I think, but even with that, I think they get worse with this trade. I think they absolutely get worse with this trade. I honestly believe that. Let's see. Giannis should go to Dallas or come to us, Bulls fan. Ooh, Giannis in Chicago, that would revive that franchise, man. Big time. Let's see. Icy Rose says, I heard the Warriors, Knicks are interested in them. The Warriors and the Knicks. I could see the Knicks. Dang, the Warriors come off the bench, for Steph Curry. I would love to see it. Wait, I wouldn't love to see it. That would hurt me a little bit. With all their rivalries and stuff, that would be very humbling. Let's see. I can see it, but when he sees Chris's contract in 2021, Rusty Buckets has a very good vid about Giannis free agency, and I agree with him that the best destination would definitely be Dallas and Chicago. Well, Dallas would be a powerhouse if he went to Dallas. Him, Porzingis, Luka Doncic. Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. That would probably be impossible to beat, to be honest. If all those guys were healthy, I don't see how you really contend with that. Let's see, is Whiteside on Portland Trailblazers? Yeah, Hassan Whiteside is a member of the Blazers, but he won't be for long. If they could find a taker for that to dump that contract, they will. Hassan Whiteside, man, he is the example of a contract year gone wrong because he blocked a million shots that one season, and everybody thought he had potential, and he has been just straight garb since then. It happens like that. It's crazy. Let's see. Honestly, I think Westbrook and Harden could work out. It could. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I just don't. Their styles just don't mix, and it's a different situation from when they were little. I said little from when they were young. It's a completely different situation. That's gonna be tough, man. But it could. It definitely could. They're friends, so they could definitely figure out how to play together. Let's see. It would take pressure off of Harden if Harden gives up the ball, man. Westbrook and Harden. See, I think Westbrook kind of gets a bad rap with the selfish thing. I don't know if he's truly selfish, man. I mean, it looks like he chased stats sometimes, but when he chased the stats, they win. I don't know. I don't know how selfish Russell Westbrook is, to be honest. Well, I have a better candidate for contract year syndrome. Nicholas Batum. I remember when he was with the Blazers, man. I thought he was gonna be like Tayshaun Prince or something. I thought he was gonna be like a very good player for years to come. He got that money in Charlotte and fell completely off the map. I don't even blame MJ for that one. I wouldn't have paid him that much, but I would have paid Nicholas Batum too. He was good. That's the thing. I can say Nicholas Batum is good, and a lot of people in the chat, Nicholas Batum, you don't even believe it. You know what I mean? But he actually was good at one point. Let's see. Dallas 8 seed, Nuggets 7 seed, Blazers 6 seed, Jazz 5th seed, Warriors 5. Let's see. Icy Rose. What you think of how Al Horford going to Philadelphia? I love it, man. They literally said we have one person in the Eastern Conference who can check Joel Embiid, and that's how Al Horford in Boston. So hey, let's sign him. Now nobody in the East can check Joel Embiid. That's basically what they said. And he fits. Al Horford does at this point in his career is defend, defend and pop out for threes. And that's all he needs to do with that team. He'll fit in perfectly to me. They're gonna be a big lineup. They're gonna play slow, but I think he's gonna be really good. I mean, Warriors 4 seed. Yeah, I caught it. I see what you're saying. Video game hooper. Jack Hewlin. I don't think trading CP3, someone who was mad he wasn't getting the ball as much for a more dominant player, is going to work out for Houston. Definitely going to be tension by the end of the season. I think the difference is Russell Westbrook and James Harden are actually friends, so I don't know how much that will help the situation. If it is worth anything, then maybe that'll help a little bit. Let's see, Rockets 3rd seed, Lakers 2nd seed, and Clippers 1st seed. I could totally see it working out like that. I think the Rockets going to be lower than that, though. I think Utah could be higher. I think Nuggets will definitely be higher. I think Nuggets probably could end up the number 1 seed this year. I think they're gonna sneak up. A lot of people not even paying attention to the Nuggets, even after they were the number 2 seed all last year. I think they're gonna sneak up on people. Now I don't know how far they'll actually go in the actual playoff run, but I think they'll definitely be one of the higher seeds. And I think Utah would be higher than that too. Let's see. Houston just tried to blow it up and still got a big name. CP3 shoots better than Russ, so they got worse to me. Yeah, I agree. They got worse to me too. Denver 7 seed, man. I need to know what you're smoking. Let's see. Westbrook chases rebounds so hard, literally makes his big step aside. He does, but maybe he might not do that as much in Houston, just because I mean, we'll see. I really just have to see it. I can't even yeah, we'll have to see how it works. I'm skeptical, but if it does find a way to work, I wouldn't be that surprised. Remember, if you guys are new to the chat, make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. I got a 30 part series of NBA team breakdowns coming pretty soon. Let's see. I don't trust Westbrook to be a championship point guard. Me neither. But if he's on a stacked team, I definitely think they could win the championship. Let's see. Where was I? Where was I? Okay, there we go. How do you think the Kings did so far? I think the Kings did good. I think they had a great offseason, to be honest. I love what the Kings did this offseason. Hey guys, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Um, Philadelphia lineup is everyone is tall except for Josh Richardson, and Josh Richardson's the sharpshooter. So I actually love what's going to happen with Philadelphia. Speaking of Philadelphia, what should their starting five be? I think it's going to be Embiid, Horford, um, Ben Simmons, Josh Richardson, and who's going to be in who's that? Who's their starting three? Yeah, I don't remember who their starting three is, but I think that's basically, and I think they're going to be a good team personally. Yeah, Tobias Harris. I totally forgot about Tobias Harris. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. And I think this is going to be a very solid start lineup. Let's see. Why would Russ want to take a back seat to Harden? I think this will end the friendship, if anything. Rockets first round exit coming up. I hope not, man. That would look bad for Russell Westbrook, man. He's been out in the first round like what 4 years in a row. Jeez, that's rough. Um, I, I think it could work. I think it could work one way. I think Russell Westbrook. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think for it to work to me, James Harden has to take a little bit of a step back. He has to take a little bit of a step back. He has to let Russell Westbrook kind of push the tempo, dictate the tempo. It's not going to be James Harden. But if you remember, James Harden wasn't always like this, though. James Harden wouldn't always dribble, control the ball the whole game. He wasn't always like that. So I feel like maybe he can kind of take a step back, not a back seat, of course, because he would still be the main priority on offense. But I think he could just give up the ball, man. Let the point guard have the ball. I think he probably was reluctant to do that with Chris Paul because Chris Paul, if James Harden is not holding the ball the whole possession, then Chris Paul is going to be holding the ball the whole possession. But Russell Westbrook don't really dribble the ball like that. Like he pushes in transition or whatever. I don't think he particularly likes to just stand at the top of the key dribbling the ball. You know what I mean? I think Russell Westbrook will have him mostly when they're pushing tempo or whatever. But I feel like they both can live. I feel like they both can eat in the same backcourt. But I don't believe it. I feel like it could happen, but I don't believe it, if that makes sense. Um, let's see, where was I? My chat keeps updating, so it keeps pushing. So I keep forgetting where I left off. Let's see. Better team, Dallas or New Orleans? I like New Orleans a lot, but I would just say Dallas just because they have somebody who's already a proven star in Porzingis and Luca. To be honest, both of them are already proven stars, so I could totally see them being really good next year. But I like Portland as well. Zion, man, that's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna have to make a video on Zion. I don't really want to hate, but I the stardom that they have carved out for him that they're ready to hand over to him. I just don't know if it's gonna work out like that. That's all I'll say with that. Okay, that's why I'm not so sure that Harden's gonna go back. gonna kind of step back, but he could. That's why I believe it can happen, but I wouldn't bet my money on it. Z Smooth, Embiid, Harris, Simmons should start. I'd be Horford off the bench. Maybe Zaire Smith can start. That's one way to do it. Another reason I think they got Al Horford though, I think they have Al Horford because they know Embiid is gonna miss a lot of games. You know what I mean? So instead of like not having that center, they'll still have somebody that they can fill in the 22 games or whatever that Joel Embiid is gonna miss next year. That's another plus. I think they could play together, but I also think they got them mainly because Embiid's gonna sit out a lot. Could you rank the East top five teams? Uh, if I had to rank, when I say Milwaukee still has to be number one. I'd say Philly number two, but it's kind of 1A, 1B because I really like what Philly did. Um, man, that's a tough one. I want to say Boston's still in the mix. I like the addition of Kemba Walker. I'm forgetting somebody, but the Raptors kind of dropped out. Maybe the Raptors will end up at five. Um, so I'll say Boston. I want to throw Brooklyn in there, but I'll say Pacers and then Brooklyn. If I miss somebody obvious, then forgive me. But to me, the Raptors got worse. Um, Brooklyn got a little bit better, and Brooklyn was a sixth seed, so I can see them moving into the fifth seed. I think with Kyrie gone, I think Jason Tatum is going to step back up to what he was, and I think Jaylen Brown is going to step up as well. You know what I mean? With Kyrie out of the way, so I think Boston will get better, and then the Pacers. I like what the Pacers did, so I think, and the Pacers were a fifth seed last year. So those are my top five. So it got to be yeah, so that's my top five. All right, let's see. The new challenge thing is good. Yeah, yeah. I absolutely love how this is going. Let's see. Question: Early MVP top three predictions. Mine, Nikola Jokic. Man, yeah, I can see that. Braun and Kyrie Irving. Oh, Kyrie's killing me, man. Kyrie got a proven. I saw Kyrie play on a Boston team, and that Boston team was trash. Well, they weren't trash, but they underachieved with all the talent they had. Kyrie got to prove it to me. I'm not gonna automatically pencil him in, but I could definitely see Joker, man. Joker was on some other stuff in the playoffs. There were certain times when I was just looking at him like this guy, like you can't stop him. If you could find a way to keep him away from the basket, he'll light you up outside. And if he gets into the paint, like he'll just like bulldoze you. Like Jokic is legit, man. Let's see. I'll be back about 10 minutes taking a shower. Okay, I feel you, bro. Um, Westbrook got more heart than 90% of the NBA. Get off that, man. Hey, I wasn't Jack the Ripper. I wasn't talking down on Westbrook, man, at all. I like Westbrook. I don't love everything about his game, but I like him. Let's see. Jacko VX. Also, D'Antoni made Harden what he is now. That's true. That's true. I totally forgot. D'Antoni completely changed his game when he got there. That's absolutely true. Man took one of the best mid-range scorers in the league. Yep. Yep. I can't even. Yep. That's the truth. I can't even add nothing to that. That's the truth, man. Mina Gill. I swear every time they say a team isn't gonna get a player, that's exactly. I noticed the same thing. I was listening to a podcast earlier today, and they were talking about of all the teams, the Rockets, there was like zero chance the Rockets would end up doing this trade because it doesn't benefit them. And who ended up doing the trade? The Rockets. People don't know what they're talking about. They said Kawhi wasn't going to go to the Clips. He went to the Clips. They said the Rockets didn't have enough for Russ. That's where he's going. Media leaks sucking. Yeah, totally agree. Pelicans in general are going to be very interesting. I think so. I think so. I don't know how many national TV games. Maybe getting Zion is going to help them get a couple. But I know I want to see them. I know I want to see them play at least a couple times this season. That guy's a bust. Won't even be talking about halfway through the year. And that's Joe Bradley. I wish Zion success, but I just don't see it. Number one, he is 6'5.5". They talking about he was gonna play center. They want me to believe that Zion Williamson is gonna play center in the NBA, and this dude, and my man, is 6'6". I don't see it. And as strong as he is, he's 6'6" against NBA centers. It's not gonna work. Like, I just want to see more. I can't wait till the season start. I'll watch him and then I'll make, because watching somebody at Duke does not tell me how they're gonna play in the NBA. It just doesn't. Let's see. Uh-huh. Pelicans in general are going to be very interesting. Yeah, I think so. Um Embiid has done a lot of crying in the tunnel left to do. You can't play too much. Icy Rose says, I'm gonna head out. Y'all can listen to my freestyle. I appreciate it, man. Keep up the good work and grind. Appreciate you for checking in the chat. Icy Rose, ICYROSE. Go check out his page. Apparently he does freestyles and stuff. So that's what's up. Definitely check that out. At the end of the stream, let's see. Mike, that's probably my top five too. Feel you. I'm a Celtics fan, so I'm happy to see Kyrie leave. Yeah, and then they really didn't lose anything because they got Kemba Walker to replace him, and I think Kemba Walker is gonna somebody that the young guys can grow under. Honestly, Kyrie in the first Boston season was work. That's true. That's true. That's true. He got hurt, but yeah, he was playing good at first. Young guns got into their feelings after the playoffs, and the guys who questioned if he was accommodating in Brooklyn, it's the first time he got to choose where he goes. Yeah, yeah, I feel you on that. I wouldn't even think about it, but that first year he was playing real good in Boston. He absolutely was. So I can't be that critical of him because he absolutely was playing good in Boston. He absolutely was. It was just that last season, and I think it's the shock. It's the fans too, because everybody saw the playoffs. Everybody saw how LeBron struggled to get rid of them. You know what I mean? And how he was having to beat them basically by himself. Huh? Okay, one second, one second. Um, let's see, let's see. All right, guys. Man, we'll put on the show in why off of all places. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Like I said, Brooklyn got some players already too. And I don't know how Karis LeVert is going, well, Karis LeVert ain't like how Jason Tatum was. He don't have the stardom, but still, we'll see. We'll see. Will Stein's gonna average Willie Cauley Stein gonna average 10 and 6. I believe that. I believe that. I think he'll get minutes with Golden State too. I think he fits with what they're trying to do. And the last comment, Michael says, who is still a big name that's gonna be on them that's gonna be on the move next. Oh man. I think Chris Paul, because I think he's gonna get traded again. I absolutely think Chris Paul is gonna get moved. I can't believe for 1 second that OKC is gonna keep him on the team. Anyway, guys, great chat. I appreciate everybody for coming out to the chat, man. I appreciate everybody who subscribed to Exceed the Hype. I make these vids and I do these chats for y'all, man. So I absolutely appreciate you guys um joining the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it, man. Let's see, love from Poland. Okay, I didn't even know you were in Poland, bro. Jacko VX. I didn't even know. Appreciate you, man. Shout out to Poland. Let's see. 330. 330, bro. Love from Reno. Okay, appreciate you, bro. Alfredo. Man, Michael, thanks for answering questions. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate all you guys who joined the chat, man. I'm gonna go ahead and log out. But yeah, man. Anytime there's a news hidden in the NBA, I'm gonna be on here with the news first. And also, if you're new, hit that subscribe button because I'm coming with a 30-piece series. I'm coming with a 30 videos after videos of videos. Every single team breakdown, what they did in free agency, what they did in the draft, all of that stuff. That's coming soon. Z Smooth, you got back just in time. We're about to end the stream, but yeah, I appreciate all y'all coming out, man. Should just real quick, should Zaire Smith start? Absolutely not. I don't think he's at that point yet, but I think he's gonna be a good player. Stephen Clay and D'Lo, rate that trio. I think D'Lo is gonna get traded pretty soon, but Stephen Clay got to give him about a 10. All right, see you guys.